Yeah, dude. And our guest this week is Cam from the podcast of Champions. Thanks for joining us this weekend.
Thank you, thank you. Also, happy birthday again.
Hey, man, appreciate it.
All right, so let's get it started. First question. Um, so when did you start MCOC, and what kind of caught your eye about it?
I've been playing since day one.
Whew.
Yeah, day one of not the beta, just day one of the global launch. I know there are some people who have been playing since the beta, and I wish I'm not as OG as them, I guess. But yeah, I've been playing since day one. I don't really remember what really caught my eye back in the day because I think I was just going through the app store, looking through the different games and all of that, and seeing what's there, seeing what's popping up. And, this Marvel game showed up, and it kind of looked pretty bad at the time. uh, and I just gave it a shot. It was really boring, and I uninstalled it, and then I think I reinstalled it at some point because we were here, right?
Yeah. So about how long after you got into it, really got into it, did you start wanting to create content?
Yeah. So I started with making content and putting stuff out there on the Reddit. So I was pretty avid on the Reddit. Uh, I was starting to become more and more familiar with how the community works. This is like maybe a year into the game, maybe a year and a half into the game, and I just got into the Reddit, saw the different YouTube content creators out there, and uh, yeah, that's how it started. Reddit posts and Reddit analyses of characters, and then went from there.
Okay. So when about like what progression stage did you really start recording your fights? Was it before or after you were uncollected?
I don't think so at the time I don't think uncollected was a thing. At the time I was just going through content. I remember Realm of Legends was a big topic at the time, and um, also remember I vaguely remember like being more interested in the community and interested in the community aspect of the game around 12.0 because everybody was just losing their minds, right? So I was also part of the crew that was losing their mind. So at the time I was starting to record stuff. I was starting to upload stuff to my channel, and those were just very sporadic posts, sporadic videos, and it kind of started from there because everybody was so involved. But I don't actually remember the exact time that things started with me and the content creation.
Okay. So you are a part of the CCP, right?
Yeah, I've been in the CCP for around 2 years.
Okay. So what kind of led you into applying into the CCP, and what is kind of your goal for the CCP?
So for the CCP stuff, I actually mentioned that I was into the subreddit at first, and then got into making content. So my initial podcast was with Idolus. So Idolus started the podcast, and I joined in as a co-host. Idolus left the game, left the community, and then I was just looking for a way to continue that legacy of the podcast. And I talked to Idolus, I talked to other people around, and I also talked to Starfighter, who happened to be a moderator on the subreddit at the time, and we were communicating in the community for quite some time. And we also knew each other through YouTube streams and all that because we were both moderators for a bunch of streamers. So at the time I approached Star about maybe restarting the podcast, and we just went from there. Star was at the time a member of the CCP because of the subreddit. And then I approached the CCP
Star
people by
was
saying I wanted to start a podcast with Star, and then I had Star approach them as well. So I got in through that, and it has evolved from there. And as far as my goal for the CCP is concerned, it's honestly the way that I feel I can contribute to the game the most. Not necessarily, well, it's a way to contribute to the community, but also it's a way to contribute to the betterment of the game by just relaying feedback, by making sure that things that are being done are not going to be met with super negative feedback by the community. So that was just my intent of joining the CCP, and a lot of the time I spend in there is just spent talking to people, seeing what they're doing, seeing the character designers and the moderators and the community managers, and seeing the kind of stuff that they're about to put out, the kind of stuff that they're maybe designing for characters. Just wanted to make sure that level of communication is there between the community and the developers.
Okay, so that kind of brings me up to a question that Jim brought up in the podcast. He said something about you were asking for asking players for new game modes. Was that something that Kabam specifically asked you to do, or was that something that you just did on your own?
Sometimes the stuff that I bring up are things that are being discussed in the CCP server, like things regarding maybe Alliance Wars or Alliance Quest, and I can't necessarily talk about the stuff that are being brought up in there at the time, but I can bring up what I can publicly bring up what do the players want to see, what do the players want from this game mode, how do the players feel about a hypothetical game mode. So that's just a way to relay the information, get a temperature from the community, and maybe inform my feedback, or maybe inform my my actual comments. Like maybe I want to bring up a game mode, and I don't know how the community would feel about it. So I would just post publicly about it, get a sense of what people think, and then go from there.
Okay. So I've noticed with a lot of your damage comparison videos, do you do a lot of math with that, or do you just post all 4 videos and just see where it goes from there?
There is actually surprisingly not a lot of math involved in those. It's just, figuring out how much damage done is in how much time, how many hits was that damage done in, just dividing the numbers and going from there. But I do love the mathematical aspect of the game. I think my damage comparison videos are just really fun for me. I do hope that they're fun for other people, and uh, when I just put them out, it's minimal on the math, but hopefully maximizing the fun aspect. But I really do like the just delving deep into the mathematical aspects as well in my other content.
Okay. So about how much math do you do that's MCOC related?
Oh, I've been doing MCOC math since the old Reddit days. I love it. It's just my favorite, one of my favorite aspects of the game. It just uh, brings together my personal background, my professional background, and also just my interests with the gameplay. Puts some numbers behind what we are seeing going on the screen. And back in the old Reddit days, I was trying to maybe figure out what's going on in 12.0. What is diminishing returns? What is how is damage calculated? How is the DPS of this champion going to compare to the DPS of this unreleased champion, who's the only information we know about is just the stats. And there's a lot of assumptions involved in something like that. And from there on, we just it just evolved into knowing more and testing more, and just putting it out there slowly to hopefully help community also also have a better understanding of what goes on under the hood.
Okay. So, who was your favorite champion to test, and in what piece of content?
Interesting. I like characters that are multifaceted, like characters that do something and then they build up on it and get more stats. And one of my favorites was actually Aegon, and I did the whole testing on him. That was one of my first reviews and one that actually never got published. And in his case, I I tried to maybe go through some of the calculators that were available throughout the community, and I tried to like reverse engineer some of the formulas that was used to calculate damage, and it was just a lot of fun, man. It was like 20,000 cell spreadsheet, and it was so much fun. I was just trying to figure out if any given hit was going to be a crit, what percentage is going to be critical, how much damage is going to do, how much armor is going to be mitigating, what impact would his true accuracy have. It was just a blast. Aegon was definitely a highlight of my of my mathematical stuff.
Okay. So where did you first test him out at?
Well, at the time I didn't. He wasn't even released. Um, but some of my favorite stuff is to just try and figure out what a character do before they come out. Like I see the hit count of any special. I know how much damage that the special is going to be doing, and then afterwards I can just go through and see if that character is going to be maybe doing as much damage as I hypothetically imagined it would do. That's just is the most interesting part of it to me. I'd like to do the just the numerical stuff and then go and check back. And like the one time I felt validated with this was when they were doing the rebalancing stuff and they released this just a small peek behind the curtain of how like the damage numbers are comparing, and they released the damage numbers for Call Obsidian. And I also remembered having done a Call Obsidian review breakdown without even playing him, and like the damage numbers were pretty similar between my numbers and his, and it was just a really good feeling at the time.
Okay. So what have you done all of the content in game?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, other than the Odin's Waltz this month,
Okay.
but yeah, everything else is done.
S- So what is your favorite piece of content in game?
Hmm. uh, so far, I think. Okay, so far I feel Act 7.1 has been pretty great. I'm not sure if it's my favorite piece of content in game. I do think that I had a more memorable experience with Realm of Legends at the time, but that was just so long ago. But I still, somewhat vaguely remember it. But I think it's somewhere between those two. Realm of Legends, when I first did it, 7.1 was amazing, and also something I had a ton of fun with was Incursions when it first came out. Not necessarily in the later iterations because it just got so monotonous. But yeah, Incursions when it first came out was just amazing. It was incredible. It was like the potential was endless for it.
Okay. So there's a question in chat. It says, "Have you figured out the specific formula for determining arena match points per fight?"
I do believe that's been already done. Uh, there there was a Reddit post on it a long time ago, and I think the numbers have changed, like been scaled up for the 5-star featured arena, but the baseline numbers should be done already. Just give it a search on Reddit. I think that would pop up, and I remember reading it, and it looked accurate.
Okay. So, if there was any type of content that, like, maybe a monthly event or a side event or just a piece of content that they had back in the day, what would you bring back?
My little symbiote, and make it permanent. Make it a permanent game mode.
Dude, yes.
Okay, right on. Is there like a reason behind that, or like a special moment behind it?
Oh, because I felt that event alone represented to me the untapped potential for future progression in the game. We had this, baseline character who had no stats, had no abilities, and you just added, quote unquote gear on top of him, and he just gained all these crazy stats. That was incredible for me. That was incredible for me to see. And yeah, that was just my favorite thing about that event.
Okay, awesome. Jax, I'm gonna kick it to you. You got anything, bud?
Yeah, man. What is one character you would like to add to the game?
Well, I was rooting for Omega Sentinel.
Ooh.
We do have a severe lack of Asian representation in the game, but um,
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
she was definitely one of the one I was rooting for. But at least I'm glad Morbius didn't get it. So as long as it wasn't Morbius.
Why is that?
Uh, oh, Jared Leto.
Okay.
Oh, the difference was so low. Somebody put it in chat. It's
Yeah.
heartbreaking, man. As
I,
far as the other characters though, I don't necessarily. I'm not necessarily too into like the Marvel lore. I
okay.
got very much into the game because of the RPG aspect of it,
Oh, wow.
more so than the lore. Yeah,
Okay. Do you watch any of the movies and TV shows and whatnot?
yeah. I do watch all the movies, but um, I'm just not maybe as big of a super fan as the folks who read the comics are familiar with the storylines there. So I just feel like whenever I want to maybe recommend a character, I just feel a little weird just to uh, maybe compare myself to all the people who are just super knowledgeable about the stuff out there.
That's good, man. I'm that person you're talking about. So it's all good, man. What is the character you'd like to see buffed in the game?
Hmm. Joe Fixit.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say him.
He's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, man, your fan buff is awesome, dude.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I tried. Kabam people told me my buff is too long, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I want to fit the abilities in there, man.
Do you want to go over just a tiny bit of it to see like how awesome this character could be?
Yeah, sure. My fan buff for him was basically just focused on keeping it a somewhere between a moderate and an overhaul update, and it was to focus on his four different suits. I'm just going from memory here, so
All good.
it was to focus on the four different suits and focus on keeping the identities of the different suits somewhat equal, giving his rotation a bit more of a purposeful aspect. So you will have the randomness, the RNG of him being a gambler, but also some sense of control. So like you could reroll your cards to get the same card as you just got, or you can reroll them to get a new random card, or you can just reroll them completely to scrap the card you got and draw a whole new card. His strengths was gonna be heal reversal and heal controls, as far as I remember. Really, really amazing damage mitigation. Some DPS, not the highest damage dealer, and just really great recovery rate. Just health recovery. I think that was going to be just the approach I took with the champion design.
Yeah, you put a lot of work. I'm someone who I'm kind of working on making buffs for certain characters, and you did. Like, I think this is a 37-minute video long of just the final rework kit. I was really blown away. Same with Jim. Like, we were like everyone who makes buffs. You're like, dude, wow, you put so much effort into that. That's awesome, man.
When it comes to designs and designing reworks for characters, I think something that has helped me maybe get a little better at it. I don't think I'm anywhere near some of the people out in the community or y'all, but something that has helped me get a little better at it was just interacting with the devs, with the champion designers, just seeing the thought processes they go through. Like, what's the intent behind this buff? What's going to be the rotation? What's going to be the weaknesses, the strengths? What game mode you want to be using them in? What RPG matchups are going to benefit him? How is he going to get countered? It's just all of that stuff comes through my mind first. I jog down that stuff first, and then get to making the abilities and all that.
Yeah, man. That's
awesome.
Yeah, I was about to go in. Have you seen the Hercules video? That contest?
I have.
Yeah, man.
I have.
What do you think of that? Are you excited for Hercules?
Well, we're not supposed to have favorites, but I gotta say, Broccoli is my favorite.
Oh,
and, yeah. I also love how they snuck in the fact that Broccoli designed Ebony Maw in there.
Yeah.
I find that hilarious. Every time we bring it up, he's like, "Oh no, not Maw." So yeah, I'm really excited, man. It sounds like he's gonna have certain elements similar to maybe even Nova in certain cases, with the dash-ins, with the block breaks, with all that. But I'm sure the kit is gonna come together really well. If his skill requirement and timing requirement and the intricacies of a rotation end up being really high, his output is probably also gonna be pretty high. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. He's gonna have a long ability list though. if Broccoli is to be. Is to continue his trends.
Can't wait.
Awesome. So, shoot, you got anything else, JX? I just had something, but I forgot what.
Hold on. Cam needs to be the next CCP member to help with champion designs like Dragon, Janik, and Bryant. Dude, yeah. Obviously, I don't think you can talk about if you're working on obviously, since it's CCP stuff, I'm sure. But yeah, we would love to see you hopefully help work with the future champion like we've seen with past CCP members, man. I would love to see that.
I would love very few things more than that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so is there anything that you would like to see with the new upcoming overhauls with Black Panther and or Miles?
Oh, those have been announced. So with Black Panther, I actually did a fan rework for him a long time ago. Oh. And I actually never published it. I just sent it directly to some Kabam people. And that was actually for the other Black Panther, though. It was for Black Panther Civil War.
Interesting.
Some of the stuff I would like to see. I love abilities that start paused and then you do certain other action and they get unpaused. It just takes so much of the timing and the impracticality out of playing a champion, and it gives you a much more predefined rotation. So like there's gonna be a lot less room for just game breaking interactions there. So with Black Panther, some of my ideas with the Civil War version was just to have him get more and more resistances as his health goes down, but also have that be scaling with his like adrenaline mechanics, because of how his character works in the comics and all that. So I'm not quite remembering right, but yeah, it was basically just gaining extra resilience, extra perfect block chance, and all the other stats associated with survivability when it comes to just his health going down, and he would also be inflicting just bleeds off the specials. I think he's gonna have to be kept a bleed, primarily bleed character. I would like to see some sort of ability that gives him an alternative to deal damage and to have his utilities versus bleed immune characters.
Yeah.
But when you have a character that's bleed reliant, you're obviously gonna be given a higher power budget to work with because that character is gonna be countered by bleed immune characters. So I wouldn't be too upset if he ends up just being bleed reliant because I would feel that he's being compensated in other aspects.
Okay. What about Miles?
Miss mechanics
Yeah.
for
Oh, yeah.
Miles.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miss mechanics, and he already has a pretty strong evade, so maybe a way to build up those evade charges on offense more easily.
Okay, interesting.
So yeah, and I see somebody's posting my my fan designs for Omega Sentinel and Hercules in the chat. That's pretty funny. Yeah, those were a good time.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So since you've completed Abyss and stuff like that, what kind of content keeps you busy in MCOC?
Arena. I love Arena.
Okay.
You did ask me what was my favorite piece of content, and I don't think Arena counts as a piece of content. Arena is just an ongoing piece of content, I guess. And yeah, I love it. I think Arena I can do at any given time while I'm doing things, while I'm watching things, while I'm working on like editing stuff, and it is one of my favorite pieces of content in the game. And one of the things I just love so much about it is the fact that you get, for me, I feel, based on how I have grown to experience the arena, based on how I have grown to do my fights in the arena without necessarily paying attention to my phone, it's become a way to actually get as much out of it as I'm putting into it. So
Okay. So how many points do you put up in Arena?
milestones.
Just milestones?
The milestones and the 6-star and the 5-star featured, the milestones and the 4-star featured, and the ones in the 4-star basic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever grind for a 5-star featured champion?
I used to, but then life got a lot busier, so those kind of grinds I think are a thing in my past.
Okay. So how many champions have you gotten through 5-star grinds? And about how many points did you put up?
Oh. If I remember correctly, one of my first grinds was actually Omega Red.
Nice.
And holy cow, that was rough. That was a double grind.
I bet.
And it costed around 10k units. I could be wrong. It was a long time ago.
Wow.
And it was incredibly rough. It was a 7-day commitment. Holy cow. That was,
Yeah.
that was a long time ago. And then after that, I think I just did one other grind. And that was from Mysterio.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was just a single grind, no doubling that one up. That one actually costed maybe like 2k units, something like that. Nothing too crazy, and I actually got a lot out of Omega. I think I got as much out of those champions as I put into the grinds. Omega Red was my main carrier for a long time. He has returned as my main carrier after I got him as a 6-star, took him to SIC 200 rank 3, and Mysterio was also amazing for me for a long time because he was the option I used for that reverse control path in Alliance Wars before they took that away. And I was just never really good at doing reverse control, so Mysterio with Emma Frost was my answer to that.
Okay. So, recently, I believe, did you do the video with MSD? Was that you?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, I did do the one about Cosmic Ghost Rider, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, what was that about, and kind of what was that like working with MSD?
MSD is amazing, man. He's kind of great. He's really great. And I reached out to him on Twitter after he reached out to the CCP members, asking if one of us could get footage from Red Goblin in Abyss. And I think I've talked to him. I've talked to him previously, and we just I got the footage. I got him on a call. Had him react to the footage, and it was really fun. It was a good time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, what keeps you busy out of the battle realm?
Family stuff, primarily, and um, if you count content creation out of the battle realm, that's also very time demanding, and also just discussions within the CCP can also be extremely demanding. And some days it's just quiet, and then other days you're just typing and writing and arguing and chatting for hours on end. So yeah, it's a lot of time, and also there's the family stuff, there's work and all that. So
Okay.
it's definitely a full schedule.
All right. So, in the podcast of champions, you do talk about food a little bit. Your favorite meal to prepare?
I sure do. I love food. Um, I've been kind of maybe disenfranchised with it a little lately as I've gotten busier, but some of my favorites to do have been just the simple things like uh, there's a French dish called jamon and this is just a pinnacle of simplicity. You just put together like some good baguette, some good ham, and some good artisanal butter, and it's just heaven. You should try that. Maybe some pickles in there if you want to zhuzh it up, but I love it. It's amazing. I love making a good omelet, like a French omelet. It's a fun time. You just
Nice.
whisk it, and you add the butter. You whisk it. You get no color anywhere on there, and you have that gooey melty center. It's a yeah. Food is a passion for sure.
Right on. JX, you got anything else, bud?
Yeah, man. Do you play Marvel Realm of Champions at all?
I used to.
Okay.
I actually started playing it with my wife,
Oh.
and it was a fun time for quite a few days, for quite a few weeks actually, and we basically just got some of our characters up to that defender tier, which is like
Yep.
the highest tiering in that game, and then we kind of fell off after getting there. Kind of felt like there's nothing else to do, and also the other characters we wanted to bring up were not as fun to play, and we were just I was just mainly playing it for fun, nowhere near as the commitment level as I had to MCOC. Some of the super frustrating stuff with that game, and some of the big reasons that actually made us quit was the matchmaking.
Yeah.
Really awful matchmaking in a lot of the matches, and you would either win and feel undeserving of the win because you just annihilated the other team, or you lose and you
Yeah.
feel completely wrecked. You you deal no damage to the enemy's base, and they just you know kill you off in two attacks, and it's really rough. Uh, we tried again once the patch 2.0 hit. It felt the same, maybe worse in certain cases. The damage numbers were just a little wonky. Black Panther was just busted. Spider-Man was busted, and yeah, it just wasn't fun, and we uninstalled it. It just wasn't worth the hassle.
All right, man. Fair enough, dude. Have you seen anything about Angela with the Odin synergy? Or not Angela, sorry, Hela. That's what I meant to say.
I sure have. I was actually testing. I was actually part of the testing for that. After Odin got added to the CCP stuff, and I was actually like communicating with Seaton and getting through some of the Abyss fights, and there's also some footage of Hela versus Abyss Deadpool that hasn't been released yet. I'm just waiting for Seaton to do the release part of that, and yeah, it's kind of bonkers, but also it's pretty impractical if you want to run it, especially in those first few fights.
Dude.
So I feel it's fine.
What? Really? You think it's fine?
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of the videos that you see, there's the Nick Fury Captain Marvel synergy present. In some of them, it's not, and she does pretty good in those cases as well. You just gotta be really skilled and really good with the timing, and I don't think a lot of people are gonna be really good with timing. And if you get hit in Abyss, you're gonna get wrecked. You're gonna get stunned. A pretty good chance you're gonna get stunned. So if you're not good with timing, you're gonna get wrecked in that sense. And yeah, it just doesn't feel too broken to me. And you're also gonna be left without options for a lot of the other fights. So
yeah,
you can try and squeeze in some other counters, but how many counters can you realistically squeeze in, right?
I gotta say, man, did you watch Brian Grant's stream with Hela yesterday in the Abyss? He did a full path in the Abyss. Dude, he broke some world records right there in that, using Hela. Like, you had Howard the Duck solo, you had, he had another solo right before, he had a Cull Obsidian solo, he had the fastest run time, he had the lowest revives. It was absolutely, like, game-breaking, really. I mean, if you really learn how to her spacing, dude, she is definitely the biggest damaging champion in the entire game. 3 times as much as CGR.
Yeah, but then you look at like how easy it is to get into CGR, right? How easy it is, how practical it is to just pick up CGR and go wreck stuff.
Right.
And I think with Hela, there's reliance on synergies. Hela is a cosmic character. There's reliance on armor breaks. There's reliance on, your buffs, upkeeping your buffs, gaining their power, using your specials. There's no immunities. There's, no counters to evade or miss or any of that with her, right? So it's just a bare bones armor break buff reliant characters. And CGR has the immunity to incinerate, has the immunity to bleed. He has the ability to run through his rotation and deal massive DPS, but not necessarily deeper on in the fight. So he can deal massive damage in a fight that has 500k HP. Hela can do massive damage. She can out DPS CGR in a fight that has 3 million HP, 5 million HP. So which one of those scenarios is going to be more common in the game? Obviously, the 500k one, right?
Yeah. We were... So Marcus Pack 16, he was doing his Abyss run with Angela. Like, he actually was the first person to defeat the Collector with Angela. And so also Brian Grant, in the middle of his stream, started doing the Abyss. And it was just so crazy just how Hela is speedrunning so many people in the Abyss. And so, like, we had MSD on call, and he was debating on what if she should be nerfed, because we saw a similar with Sabretooth. So we were really debating on if they're going to cap her Furies to 15 or 30 or whatnot. And it was just absolutely insane that I think with the synergy, she becomes such an easy champion because without the synergy, she can totally ramp up to this damage, but it's almost impossible to without Odin's synergy and keep it. Obviously, keeping is the first part because she can still do it, she just can't keep it. So we were definitely debating on whether or not she should get nerfed and how high that damage cap or how much that Fury cap should be able to go to because yeah, man, she was insane in the Abyss.
Yeah. When it comes to just balancing stuff, I feel there is a lot less impact in one character than there is in an ability that can impact every character. So something like Odin's buff stacking. Now, Odin's buff stacking is kind of a slippery slope, in my opinion. We have seen it with Red Goblin. We have seen it with some other characters like Black Bolt. We have seen it with Silver Surfer. And we have actually not completely seen it with Silver Surfer because that's bugged at the moment. So it can be even more bonkers with him.
That's interesting.
And we have also obviously seen it with Ghost, right? Ghost getting that extra attack rating with the buff stacking situation. It comes down to, have they sold the preview bundles, the early access bundles? Yes, they have. Are they gonna need to be held accountable? Yes, they do.
Okay. So, with that being said, how many of the early access bundles have you purchased?
Oh, I don't really spend on the game, so.
Okay.
Fair
enough.
I don't think I've purchased any of them ever. Yeah.
So, overall, about how much do you think you have spent in game?
Very little. Maybe less than $200, I think.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane.
Congratulations. That's pretty insane. Like, cause I mean, I see a lot of people doing Abyss and they're spending hundreds of dollars on revives and stuff like that. What are some ways you avoid spending money in game?
Just consistent arena grinding.
Yeah.
It's just the best way to not burn yourself out. In case, like, if you're inconsistent and you have a piece of content coming up and you're suddenly out of resources, then you feel that crunch. You're like, should I spend? Should I go and kill myself in the arena? You do neither. You consistently grind. You do a little bit of grinding here, a little bit of grinding there, and you amass the numbers you need over time. And, you know, the next piece of content that comes out, you're prepared for it. You're prepared for the resources. You're prepared for the requirements there. Right?
Okay. So what are some ways that you had prepared for Abyss or some sort of harder content? Just grind arena and stock up on revives, I'm guessing?
Abyss was an absolute mad dash. I don't remember exactly the circumstances I did Abyss under. So I think it was with... Okay, so it was right after I collected all my horsemen. I did my first path without some of the horsemen. I did it with Aegon, without Nick Fury, without Doom, without Human Torch, and it was awful. Oh, it was a bad time. And that first path was really rough. And then the paths 2, 3, 4, and 5, I did it in a week. I did all remaining 4 paths in a week, and it was really enjoyable because I, first of all, had the resources. The resources came from... I remember gifting was going on. Some other events were going on that were, you know, good for just farming resources, farming revives, and you know, stuff like that. And I amassed the number of units that I thought was gonna be enough for Abyss, and I went in there, and lo and behold, it was just enough. And I'm not even the best fighter. I'm very much not the best fighter.
Okay. So last week, whenever I had Chunky B on, he had mentioned that he was one of the voices that took away gifting. Has there been a time where your voice in particular has changed the way the game's direction has gone in one way or another?
I'm not. I don't think I can take credit for anything like that, because when it comes to having a voice and having a say in a community matter, it's definitely always a group effort. So if I say something and somebody else agrees with it, and then we all agree with it, and we start to maybe lobby it with Kabam. I think something that has definitely maybe has some of my name written on it was the She-Hulk rank down tickets.
Oh,
At the time, it was very much something that it was after. It was something that I wanted to make Kabam, you know, held accountable for.
I still have mine.
I mean, it was just a matter of, if a character was designed and advertised and put out there in state A, are they, and now Kabam wants to change them. People made certain decisions based on that state. I think something else that I had an influence on was the rank down tickets and the unawakening gems for the rebalancing characters. No matter how small or big the change is, I think if a character is to be sold and advertised in a particular state, people make purchasing, awakening, and rank up decisions based on said state. So, if that state is to be changed, people should be given the option to go back and remake or not remake those decisions. So that was just my reasoning with all of that.
Nice. And that was Cole. That was Cole Obsidian and Namor that you're talking about, right?
Call-ups in the Namer, yeah.
Okay. So how do you feel about Hood then? About him, obviously, being obviously we get right down tickets, but also they're adding it back, adding the stuff that everyone asked for. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
It's the right move. I think it's an unpopular mood, because a lot of people were enjoying the new Hood, but also people's enjoyment doesn't take away from the fact that his rework was just fundamentally flawed, and it ended up taking away certain things that people previously relied on, certain meta relevant things that people previously relied on. So it ended up taking those things away, and once you take those things away, the people who previously relied on that to complete content can no longer do that. They have to go look for other options because the tool they used previously, it just doesn't work anymore, and that's not right. That shouldn't be the intent and the way reworks go. So I think that decision is the right one. Not necessarily as popular, but also they're bringing it back. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I agree with you.
Yeah. Someone in chat says, what are some of the responses to those that believe the CCP, or what is your response to some of those that say the CCP members are just unpaid marketing arm for Kabam?
Well, first of all, I think they should be paid.
Yeah.
There is an untold amount of work that goes into just giving and relaying feedback, and it's an incredible amount of work. So I do think they should be paid for that. They should be compensated for that. And as far as marketing is concerned, if all the CCP reviews and videos were positive and painting characters and content and the game in a positive light, then there could be an argument for that. But I feel a lot of the content is criticism at Kabam. It's criticism at their champion designs, and uh, in that sense, I think there's no necessarily positive marketing happening there. I mean, I guess if any marketing is good marketing, I guess there can be an argument being made there. But yeah, it's just a lot of effort. I think people who are in there, who are active in there, and who are spending a lot of time in there, they should be paid. But yeah,
Okay. So, yeah, that brings me to a good question. What, you do make YouTube videos and stuff like that. So, how many subscribers and watch hours do you usually normally get, like, per month?
building up that right now, building it up from like a month and a half ago, and moving into this month, I have grown around 50% in terms of subscriber count
Wow.
in that channel, and over the period that I've been working on it more seriously. So around 1,600 subs right now, and the watch hours it can vary from the video to video, and per month I'm not sure about the per month watch hours, but it should be in 300K ish region.
Wow.
Yeah.
a lot.
or
Yeah.
or 30K ish, 30K ish. I think I could be wrong. I haven't. I can check, but yeah, I haven't really looked into the stats too much. I just do it because of um. I basically just started doing it more seriously because I felt like I was just getting stagnant on that front. I just didn't want to leave it, uh, you know, leave an untapped potential untapped, I guess.
Okay. So about how much time do you spend working on your videos and creating the content?
Depends on the video. Some videos take like 8 hours. Some videos take 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. So like the most recent damage comparison one I think you did was the Asgardians one.
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah.
Okay,
That was
so,
rough.
Yeah. So I was looking into that, and you had Jane Foster on 1.5 times. Was there a reason why she was moving a bit faster than the rest of them?
Yeah, she was just very slow. I just wanted all the characters in that scene to finish all around the same time. And in her case, oh my god, dude, it was an absolute torture to do that fight just once, and I had her die from suicides when
Oh.
Old Man Logan had like 5%, like 4% health left, and I was just like, I'm not doing this thing ever again.
No.
Yeah.
Um,
Kabam missed out on buffing Jane Foster this month since we had an Asgardian event, for sure. Especially since she appeared in the event itself.
Hopefully, very soon.
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
So out of the champions that have been buffed recently, like this year so far, who was the most potent thing?
Oh, Magneto is a little game breaking. Magneto can do like 4 million SP3s. It's kind of nuts. But aside from Magneto, I actually really like Kingpin. I think
Oh.
Kingpin is very much a kind of a jack of all trades kind of character. He's gonna be reliant on the Hood synergy, but Hood we know is getting buffed, so rebuffed again. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, Kingpin is gonna be my vote for that.
Nice. I have a Kingpin was my first 6-star, so hopefully I dupe him and rank him up. So we had another question. It said, "Do you want mastery presets in game? Are you for or against it? And how many presets would you want if you could have it?"
I'm definitely for them. There is arguments to be made for, 2 presets, and then Kabam would be able to sell the subsequent presets, because obviously whenever you're pitching an idea, there's got to be some monetization involved. So yeah, I think uh, that could be something to keep in mind. And when it comes to presets and just champion alterations via masteries, they're just such a big and all-encompassing kind of concept that they just impact every character in your roster. So in that sense, I think uh, they're just pretty hard to hard to get down. So I'm not really blaming Kabam for taking their times with that. We
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know the impact the reset could make on the game.
Yeah.
Do you think the presets would have to cost to change, or would they be free to change?
I think maybe between that first two, they should be free to change, and then if you want to add more, it should cost.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
right on. JX, you got anything else, bud?
So yeah, we had St. Patrick's Day last couple days ago, and kind of something we were missing is the Fill and Green event. How do you feel about that, especially since you're a free to play, almost a free to play?
I'm feeling blue. No, I don't. No, I don't really miss it. Feeling green was mostly for resources, and at the moment, I am in the position to not need resources.
Okay.
But then again, 7.2 could be right around the corner,
Yeah,
and
man.
we're gonna go back to needing those resources very, very badly.
Yeah, maybe next month, hopefully.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah. So JX just posted the buff schedule. So they did actually change that to 3 buffs per month. Do you think this is going to work out better than the original 4 and the original 4 that they had scheduled for each month?
Did they make that announcement? They made that announcement, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, alright.
Yes, they made the announcement.
Yeah. So, in the announcement that they made, they mentioned that they have noticed that even with only
Value.
value only update, they have noticed that they can just they need to do more than just value only updates
Yeah,
for those characters.
Angela.
So, for example, Angela, you're just getting new abilities, right? And with that being said, I agree with that sentiment because I think there's very few characters that can function and be better without adding new abilities and just like having to restrain the champion update developers to just fluctuating numbers and not adding new abilities is going to be an easy way to end up with an either underwhelming character or an overtuned character who's compensating for lacking otherwise lacking abilities. So in that sense, I'm all for it. I think 3 per month is great. They also mentioned that it's going to be 3. 2 of them is going to be moderate to value only, somewhere in there. So anywhere from value only to moderate to somewhere between moderate and an overhaul. And then the last one is going to be an overhaul every month. So I think getting an overhaul every month is going to make a lot of people happy who were very upset that like Angela is getting a buff because Angela's kit allowed her to just get a value only update, and Jane Foster wasn't getting a buff. And we know that the overhauls are going to be reserved for characters that whose their base kit is just
Unusable.
worthless.
Yeah.
I'm
excited, man. More reworks is something that like I was super excited to hear about. So,
yeah.
And there are so many champs that not every champ not every champ needs a rework, but obviously those super old champs need those reworks, and I'm so excited to see who they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, what are some champions that you would like? Some older champions that you would like to see either value updated or reworked?
Well, there's the whole slew of older 2015, 2016 characters. I can just pull up Aunt May and just go through that first batch. It's just Abomination, Black Panther. I don't think Black Bolt needs it at this point.
No.
Black Bolt is going through Realm of Legends in like 10 minutes.
Dude.
It's crazy.
Uh,
Captain America,
oh yeah.
Cyclops, Deadpool, Drax, Hawkeye to a lesser degree, Hulk, Iron Fist, Iron Man, Juggernaut. Oh my God, there's so many of them.
Yeah.
That's why I've been making fan buffs for these characters, because like, dude, yeah, like I said, I can't wait till they get buffed.
Yeah.
All right. So, JX, you got anything else?
Oh man, I just lost it. But yeah, you were talking about the CCP earlier. Is there anything you'd like to see improved in the CCP that you would want to talk about?
Like in what sense? Improved in how in the content we put out, or in the type of content we're given access to, or
It's kind of just a general remark. If there's anything you would like if Kabam's listening right now and you're like, how would I improve the CCP? This is like how I would do it. Like, there's some, like, I don't know, something specifically you would want is just what I'm trying to say. If you don't answer, it's all good.
So something that they've actually done surveys and stuff in the CCP to ask us, what would make our lives easier.
Okay.
And something that I would like to see is first of all, a node glossary would be good.
Oh.
And like finding out where each node is. Actually, Slugberg teased something like that coming to Aunt May a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited for something like that, and also an icon bank. So like a debuff or a passive has a specific icon. I would like to use that icon for like a thumbnail or a design.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like that.
Crusader, he's a guy in the community. He doesn't have, like, I don't think he has a complete one, but he's got a pretty good one out there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, for sure, man. It's so hard to find those certain debuffs, buffs, and whatnot that are in the game files that get exported. For sure, man. That's awesome.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if that's about it, then Jax, if you got any crystals open, go ahead and do that.
I got like 3 more fights before I can open 3 5-stars.
Okay.
So,
all right. So, shoot, what do you want to talk about now?
hey, if anyone's got any questions, man, go ahead and ask, dude.
Yeah, chat. Go ahead and shoot off some questions. I know Jim's been asking a lot.
Appreciate you, Jim.
Yeah. So, out of the game mode suggestions, which do you think could actually be viable, or which ones were your favorite?
Ooh.
I love talking about game modes. I love just looking at. I even love looking at different games, not necessarily just Marvel games. I like to keep up with Strike Force. I like to keep up with Future Fight, with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Just some of the more popular mobile games that have an RPG element associated with them, and I like to just keep up with them. And make sure to like stay up on top of them, to maybe get inspiration from them and stuff like that. And with game modes, something that has been brought up so many times has been solo incursions, or a game mode that is inspired by solo incursions, like a tower climb game mode kind of deal.
Yeah, kind of like Mortal Kombat.
Basically,
the tower.
You climb the tower, you face harder and harder enemies. It's endless, and you die at some point. And I think that could be something really interesting if done right. And it has been done in a bunch of other games, in a bunch of other mobile games, and I feel Kabam should be working on something like that. I don't actually play any other mobile games or any other PC games. I just play MCOC, and I used to play MRock, but I just tried to keep up with them.
Okay. Did you see Imagine Jim's Alliance campaigns, and did you like
I
it?
sure have. Yeah, I was taking a look at it a long time ago. Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's a really interesting idea, and Alliance game modes definitely do need an overhaul. We are running out of interesting game modes in the Alliances especially. So yeah, it's something that that I'm interested in for sure.
Okay. So how do you envision Galactus coming to the game?
Pretty sure we were told he's not coming
What?
to the game. So
Oh.
Wait, what do you mean?
a long time ago on a UMCOC podcast, if I'm not mistaken. This is public info. I'm sure this was public info. So Gabe was talking about Galactus and how like he didn't want to belittle the character by just having us fight him.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. Sounds interesting, but I'm not really too fussed about getting Galactus or not getting Galactus. You know, it's more the kit of the characters that excite me than the names of them, I feel.
So, since I know you're not a story dude, do you know why Galactus is coming to the contest? That I can explain if you don't know.
I have no idea.
Oh, man. Okay, so I'll do a little quick thing. So, obviously, we had the Fantastic Four event, which brought them all together, right? So,
Yeah.
basically, when Reed came back, like, when we found him, what happened is he actually called in Galactus. Like, he came like a homemade beacon, and it's calling Galactus to come to the Battle Realm. And what it's hoped, the reason why he did this, is because if the Galactus eats the heart of Battle Realm, which is Battle World, it'll break the barrier of Battle Realm and let everyone out. Like it'll release all the champions to be back to their home worlds.
Huh.
So we know Galactus is coming in the story of the game, and so that's why I thought it was super interesting that you said he might not be be able to fight against, but he might just be a story element. I think that's what Gabe was saying, is like you might not fight him, but you might fight his heralds, and that'll lead to the destruction of, or lead to the safety of Battle Realm. And Mr. King in chat, he's actually shown that now that Reed's kind of like called him in, everyone's trying to strengthen the barriers of Battle Realm to prevent Galactus from coming in. And Battle World,
the champions are trying to strengthen the barriers. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Why would they want to stay in the Battle World?
it's because Galactus is an unstoppable force that might, kind of destroy everyone. We don't also.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, he's a hungry lad.
He's a big boy. He's got to get that food in.
Yeah,
well,
man.
I sure hope if they want to maybe introduce, another level of progression, it comes, maybe around the same time with that, maybe.
Yeah, there's Yeah, man. I'm a huge theory conspiracist when it comes to the contest and paying attention to all the lore and whatnot. So, Null, the symbiote god, is also another character that seems to be teased at. So that's another campaign boss, I should say, that we could see come to the game as well.
I am familiar with him, and I'm familiar with him through Future Fight. So Future Fight got him a couple months ago. Pretty interesting stuff. I like the idea of like a character buffing the other symbiote character.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you play any other like PC or console games besides MCOC?
No, I used to play just different random, not just mobile games, just different random games, and back in the day I also used to play like the classic games, but yeah, no, I don't think I physically have the time to do anything else in a day.
All good, man.
Yeah. All right. I think
So close.
I'm at it. I'm so close. You said.
I'm in Uncollected Void right now. I just gotta kill him, and I can open the 3/5 stars.
Right on. So while we wait, who has been your most recent 5 or 6 star champion?
Well, my recent 5-star, like the notable pull from my recent 5-star was like a dual class mystic science pull that I needed either long shot or clairvoyant from, and I popped like 5 of those, and I got long shot from it. I didn't get clairvoyant.
Nice.
I'm saving my 5 stars until the next feature that is released. I'm saving my 6 stars until the next feature that is released. And my recent 6-star pull was Daredevil Hell's Kitchen. I got the first awakening on him, and I'm ecstatic about it. He has amazing glow stick prestige. and I'm all about that. And as somebody who doesn't spend on the game, it's very important to get those low sick prestige characters.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's kind of one of that's a good point. You are in for Loki, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's like you guys ranked what 3 in the last season?
Yeah, Alliance Wars has been going pretty well.
Yeah. So what was that like? Did you lose any war battles or anything like that? Was there any embarrassing losses?
I had 2 deaths during the season. One of them was to an Apocalypse mini boss, and that was really rough. And it was me going up against that Apocalypse mini boss with a magic. It was just a rough matchup. It was a bad time. I got a lot of it was out of my control. And then the other death was to a Hyperion, and that one was completely within my control. I was just a little dumb, and yeah, those were the 2 deaths I had during the season. I did decently well that season. I have had deathless seasons. I've had seasons where I died so many more times. This wasn't their first time getting top 3. Top 3 isn't necessarily about top 3 is as much about getting lucky with the matchups at the right time as it is about being a good and skillful alliance. So that was just how things lined up, and also how we ended up ranking.
Awesome. All right.
You good?
I got 1 5-star and 1 Nexus.
Okay.
All right. I can't
get it.
I can't share my screen, but I'm gonna tell you what I get. All right, here we go. We're opening the 5-star basic right now.
Right on.
Also, do you have any thoughts on Spider-Gwen? That's what Xander asked.
I think she's pretty cool. I think her evading of unblockable attacks abilities is actually one of the best abilities in the game. It's really powerful.
Okay, so I awakened my 5-star Ultron. Age of Ultron. Nice. Okay. I'll take it, Absorption, not bad. Alright, here we go. The 5-star Nexus. Oh! Okay. Oh my god, this is awesome. Okay. Terrax, Ultron, and Spider-Man Stark.
Ooh.
First full?
New?
Yeah, for only Ultron's the only one that's not new.
Ultron, yeah.
Oh, man, I gotta go with the Starkey, I think.
Yeah.
Dude, let's go, man. I've been hunting for him for a while.
Very
yes.
Nice,
awesome.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah, man. That's an awesome gift. I want to tell you guys about my birthday gift my parents got me, real quick. Shout out to my parents. They're awesome. They got me a thing where I'm going to have a one-on-one course on building my own axe. So I'll be in this guy's forge building my own axe. Since my name's J-Axe, I am super excited to forge an axe.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Oh yeah.
That's one hell of a birthday gift, man.
Yeah.
That's super unique too. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, I love bladesmithing, and I've always said I wanted to do it, and so I'm finally going to be able to do it. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I think my Nexus 5-star, I got a Red Guardian. That's what I got first time.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was pretty excited.
He is amazing.
Yeah.
He's a broccoli character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. Thanks again, Cam, for coming out tonight. We appreciate you coming by and talking with us.
Of course.
J-Axe, happy birthday, dude. And if that's it, I think we'll wrap it up for this evening.
Yeah, man. Dude, it was so
All right.
awesome to have you on, dude.
Yeah, the pleasure was all mine, man. Really appreciate y'all inviting me over. Yeah, really fun time. Looking forward to listening to this episode later, and also the other ones.
Awesome. Thanks again, dude. And everybody who
right.
joined us live, have a great evening.